I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of like,
I'm speechless.
yeah, that was probably the worst Super Bowl I've ever seen in my whole life.
It's pretty bad.
Everything, like even usually like the day of the game, like the pregame shows leading up to it are fun and everything.
Yeah,
It's awful.
I don't watch that anymore.
Oh God, man, that was terrible.
But traditionally, Super Bowl games have not been always the best games.
True.
And
yeah,
it's going to get all the conspiracy people going. Well, Kansas City shouldn't have been there. It should have been another team.
Oh yeah. Well, when they got that first call, that pass first call, I thought, oh, here we go.
Everybody was like, let's go. Here we go.
Yeah, no kidding. Is that really? I mean, he touched the guy's face mask. He did, but it wasn't. Yeah, wasn't a whole lot. How are you doing there, Mr. Patriot Training Systems?
We're all good.
Do you notice what I have? I don't know if you can see it on the screen. There's a little tag there. Kendrick Lamar. I put Kendrick Lamar.
Do not see it, but I must be honest. I didn't really watch the halftime.
No, okay. We need to be fair here. I'm sure that there are some people. He's apparently a big star that are really into his music and understand. Like, I guess he's got a big battle going on with Drake and all this kind of stuff. It's not our cup of tea, right?
And it's not. It's that, and it's also the fact that why do we place so much importance on the halftime entertainment?
I know. Or we should do something different, like have like an educational program to teach people how to. Yeah.
We're back to gladiator times. Put some lions out there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, put a little corral up. They got to get out.
Well, they had the guy with the You pointed out to me they had the guy with the Palestinian flag running around there.
I saw that. Yeah.
How does a guy with a Palestinian flag get out on the stage? Oh, you get the president. You get the president of the United States there. Oh God. Yeah. Oh, funny stuff.
But yeah, they should spice. I mean, the game was so boring. Then you'd really get some eyes on it. I mean, you get tremendous viewership around the planet if you did that.
Is there one, like anybody in the planet, artist, actor, football player, musician, whatever it is there somebody you would really want to see do the halftime show? Oh, really?
I want to see the football game. I don't really care about the halftime.
Right. Yeah. So what do you do with those, like, 20 minutes, whatever they got in between there? What do you think you should do?
It's hard. I know. They got to fill time up. And there are, I'm sure, a lot of people that tune in only for the halftime show.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's probably a lot of Kendrick Lamar fans who just wanted to.
I don't care. It was Katy Perry for a while back. I mean, it's all good, but it's meaningless to me.
Right. Yeah. How about what if they have the what was the one, Janet Jackson with
the wardrobe malfunction?
The wardrobe. Yeah. Right. No kidding. Yeah. It's like when you see like Taylor Swift. Like I'm catching on to her. Okay, I've caught on to her. Like she sits right in front row all the time. Like she doesn't want to be seen, right? Like if you really want to just go there to cheer on your boyfriend, you go sit in the back someplace. Like in. Yeah.
Did you see there was Dennis Savard was on with? Yeah.
It was an old interview, right? Talking about Patrick Kane.
Yeah.
That was classic. So go ahead, tell that story. That was good.
Well, as I remember it, I guess Patrick Kane didn't have such a great game.
Right.
And Savard noticed that he was kind of zeroed in on two blondes, sitting behind a glass. And then after the game, they lost, and I guess they're on the way out to the bus, and Savard saw him speaking to these two girls, and he just went off on, get in the effing bus, blah, blah, blah. And one of the girls was Taylor Swift.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah. That's funny. So it's probably like 15 years ago or something like that, too.
A long time ago, yeah.
Oh, funny stuff. Okay, so what happens to Travis Kelce? Let's say he retires after this. It's coming near the end. I guess he's still got all his podcasts and his commercials, the Fruit Loop commercials.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have to hold a rent party for him. But,
right.
Yeah.
Right. But does that relationship last? Like, is he a big enough name for her?
I think it might, because he's so different than who she's been with before. I don't know. I'm trying to get into her head. It's
right.
I don't know what she's thinking.
Right.
Not sure.
Or, like, you kind of wonder, like, okay, if I'm Taylor Swift and I've got all this money and everything, I mean, do I even care? I mean, it's like,
well, that's why I think it may last, because if you walk up to 10 people and you say, who's Taylor Swift, 10 of them are going to tell you who they are.
Yeah.
If you walk up to 10 people and say, who's Travis Kelce, and they go, I don't know, my neighbor.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, some do. Yeah.
I mean, football fans don't know who he is. But.
Yeah. There's our boy, I want to say it probably. How do you think?
It looks like he does that the bikes, man. That's cool stuff. You ever see? They're like this far off.
I know.
Like doing 200 miles an hour. I know.
I don't know if I'd have the courage for that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, me neither. That's crazy.
Yeah. So even like the pregame stuff, like usually there's some like good vignettes, they have some
Yeah.
emotional stories about the guys, all the things they've been through in the family
Sure.
struggles and that kind of stuff. Man, the commercials were terrible even.
Oh yeah. I think part of it, like with the pregame stuff, how much what's there to talk about after a while,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's become like a national holiday, really.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of like I look forward to sitting around noon watching all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a game with a couple of people from overseas in Beth, and Beth's a casual fan,
Right.
The other people had no clue, but it's an event, so.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's an event now. Yeah, it's a kind of a family. It's like almost like Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Yeah, you make the meal and you get the rings and everybody.
Okay, so we're gonna say it properly. Majin.
Okay.
Yeah. If I was, what's your name? The mayor of L.A. or if you mean Los Angeles, I would have said Majin LOL Lalo, Majin Lalo.
Yeah.
Right? Remember, she got up there and said the address that people can go to, the URL.
Yeah. There seems to be a lack of, what's going on with this whole country right now. It's coming to the forefront. We have a lot of people that I wouldn't say are mentally challenged, but really. And it's on both sides of the party, just are really not bright people.
Well, like you brought up to me, I didn't see it until after you told me. Like the mayor of Philadelphia, she was trying her best, but she was trying to spell Eagles.
EGLSES.
I mean, you're the mayor of Philadelphia.
I know. It's really, and this is. We're gonna get
let's give her the bit. She was excited. But
I'll give her the benefit of that.
Yeah, it's not like she's not in front of the camera all the time. Like she's the mayor of Philadelphia. So
I'll give her the benefit. I'll give everybody the benefit of the doubt. But you should be able to spell Eagle. It's kind of it's a layup.
Kelsey and Swift seem to be like they're very nice people. Okay, Danny.
Well, I mean, again, we have the media and our culture creates these superpower couples.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like J-Lo and whoever she's with this day.
Yeah.
I mean, she's.
I know.
And I guess it's cool, it sells stuff, but
well, and it's all the distraction too, right? So now okay, so here we go here. So we've had the plane crash. So there's the plane crash in South Korea, right?
I don't know. They keep I'm losing track of all stuff.
So
planes hitting each other.
So plane crash in South Korea. Miraculously, like the last couple of minutes and the black box was destroyed. So you couldn't get that. The rest of it was fine.
Yeah.
That was a miraculous thing. Then we have the plane crash in DC.
Yeah.
There is no warning system turned on at the time, supposedly. They were flying like twice as high as they're supposed to be. We have the crash in Philadelphia that we don't know what happened to that. It just fell out of the sky miraculously. Then we have the plane crash in Alaska. They don't know what happened there. There's no warning system that went on there. So, I mean, I don't.
It still gets back to if you look at the thousands of flights per day,
right.
It's still like the chances of dying in a plane wreck.
Right. Totally. Yeah. So it's either total, like now it's an incompetence issue because our FAA is out of touch, or if you want to be a real conspiracy theorist, is there something else going on?
Yeah, it's in most cases, I think it's human error, either on the pilot or the tower. Human error.
Right. But okay, so let's get into. I'll be the contrarian here.
Okay.
So like in the helicopters case, now I hate to say this because these are members of our military, but there's 3 people on the helicopter.
Right.
And if one person's making a mistake, the other 2 are just sitting there watching?
Well, they have different duties or responsibilities. So maybe the whatever, I think they forgot to turn on something. Yeah. That was the pilot's duty. The other one guy's probably, I'm going to guess, a navigator or something. I mean, it's a little different with the military because you have a weapons specialist in there.
Right.
But it's probably human error, And I think again, there's a lot of questionable stuff that went on, but and if it was Tom, we'll never know.
Oh yeah, we could debate it all day long. That's a good point. Yeah. A couple of our veterans here, our wonderful grasshopper there, William Haynes in beautiful Chicago.
Good morning. Good man.
This is the guy we should speak to all the time. Brian Duffy. He was for ADSB. That's that system.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the pilot. Brian was a pilot for many years.
That's right. Yeah, we've got to build. His brother's a built-in sleep expert. He's the built-in flying expert, like
aviation and military too. Because he
like,
was
who else has got that? Does Joe Rogan have that kind of?
No, he doesn't have that pull. Come on, please. It's
Really?
just us.
He doesn't have a sleep expert. He doesn't have a flying expert.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And then we've got William Haynes, who's our train expert.
Yeah. What has Rogan got?
Yeah, no kidding.
Seriously.
It's a bunch of freaks.
I'd like to see him backhand sauce a pass. Not happening.
He does get fired up on hockey when he sees hockey fights. He goes, "This is unbelievable!"
There's some funny stuff on YouTube with African American people going,
"Yes,
they've been hiding this game. It's great. They fight." And then every once in a while, the goalie just goes, "The hell with it." Just walks off the ice. It's great. Great game.
Those videos are funny where they get
They're
people
hysterical.
watching the games and they're going the look on their face is pretty funny. Yeah. The black box does not lie, Tom. Well,
yeah, that's true.
Right. You just kind of wonder, do we get the box doesn't lie, but do we get the actual truth from the box? That's the problem, right? That's a sad state that we're at there. Like you feel bad. Like it's just that. Like I looked it up, and I looked it up several times. In 2023, we only had one crash worldwide where people lost their lives. So there's other
really worldwide.
That's what I asked AI to look it up.
Yeah, I don't know about that because I mean it's possible, but it's hard to believe.
I know
worldwide. I mean maybe in the country here, but I mean you had a couple of planes shot down. So that's a different story.
That's correct. Yeah. But I think I looked up. Asked it like worldwide how many accidents, and it came up. There's like 5 the year before and then 1 that year.
The Malaysian flight 380 that just disappeared.
I know.
Never found that thing.
God. I mean, there's got to be a way then. Again, is that true? Like, wouldn't you like to find out all the answers? But again,
someday we will.
I know, as much as we like Trump, like even with the drone thing in New Jersey where they come up and say, well, there's a whole host of, and there's other things. Well,
I saw 2, and I really didn't, when this was all going on, I really didn't see any clearly. Right. Saturday night, clearly, I saw 2 huge drones.
This Saturday night, this past?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Okay, what do we got going here? Tom, I work for CNN. I interact with a lot of Canadian supervisors that want to succeed. Oh, secede.
Secede, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? It's interesting. At first, you kind of thought that Trump's just throwing that out there about making Canada the 51st state or whatever it is, or territory, whatever.
Well,
then
if you look at it analytically, it'd be a great move for Canada.
Well, yeah, totally.
I mean, our economic power, our military power.
Well, especially if he starts cracking down, because again, it's not a law, but we've talked about this where the NATO agreement is you're supposed to spend 2% of your gross domestic product on your military. They're not doing.
I think Trudeau really, with the truckers that time when he froze the bank accounts, and I don't think he can purchase a handgun in Canada anymore, right?
You know what's a great question. It is tough. Yeah,
I think, and he was just too radical for the country. And Canadians, better than me, are hardworking, pretty tough people because it's a little different growing up there. It's a harder life in most cases.
Yeah, and the Canadians are they're much more, and obviously I'm generalizing here. They're much more willing to accept. Okay, this is the way the government wants us to do it. Like they got the universal health care and all that kind of stuff. But you're right; they get pushed to a certain point. They're gonna yeah. And then the whole thing with Greenland too. They're mapping Alberta up already. No bullshit.
Yeah, there's been some stuff going on in Alberta. Yeah.
Yeah, Alberta, because Alberta is it can be a very wealthy province because of the oil reserve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it'd be a win-win for the U.S. I think it'd be a win for Canada. Obviously, I don't think it'll ever happen.
But did you ever? Again, yeah. Whoever thought that Trump would have 2 terms as president, though, when he first started the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. How's business going? Training? I see your videos with the young man.
Pardon?
You see you're training your young man there. You've got you train.
Oh, who, Dominic?
Yes.
He's a rip. He's so cool. He comes in. He's got his little boxing shoes. He's only 5.
Yeah.
And then you see him. He hits pretty hard for a little guy. When I was doing the bullet thing the other day, and then he'll walk away like this, he's a trip, man.
I like that.
He's such a good kid.
Yeah, I like this. Williams kind of feeling stuff. My divisional general manager is from Saskatoon, which is in Saskatchewan, the province of Saskatchewan. He told me that if Alberta goes, so will Saskatchewan. Yeah. You know, I didn't think of that the way that. So it could be province by province that just decides to go.
Ontario probably the last to go. Quebec wouldn't go. Quebec doesn't even like rest of Canada.
I know. I tell you, Quebec's the wealthy province. Like their reserves and everything, they're mining and all that.
Well, I'm sure you remember this too, but didn't the separatist movement in the 70s and they take over the parliament in Canada, and it was a shootout and all kinds of wild stuff.
I didn't know about the shootout, but it's always been the topic of discussion.
The separatiste, whatever that is in French.
Let me see here. Hey, Tom, when you were a player, did you ever have a time when you had a nervous moment on an airplane?
Too hammered.
Well, yeah, good point. I sat beside Kotze, and he was going to take my meal. I think
that's a nervous thing.
Yeah, that was the only bad thing. No, because I was always up to something on the plane. God, like I get so fired up that like I remember one time, I'll never forget this. Like I get so excited like a little kid.
Yeah.
I get the sweaty armpits. Like I don't know if you saw Grunk or those guys yesterday on TV.
Yeah, yeah.
Where I was sitting beside Luke Robitaille, and he looks at me, he goes, and he says, "Lift up your arm." So I lift up. I was just soaked. I was so excited. I was just like a little kid. I was always
waiting to pull a prank.
Oh yeah, I still can't sleep on the plane now because I think somebody's going to get me back for all the stuff I did.
It could happen.
Yeah,
they could wear a disguise.
Definitely.
I tell you, we hit the hangar in Toronto, right?
Hit the hangar?
Yeah. So we're taxiing out. It was we got on a plane early. We're trying to get back to New York.
Right.
And I faced the back of the plane, so Rammer's sitting here, and I feel listen. What was that? Rammer goes, "Oh, the plane just hit the hangar." I go, "Don't mess with me." He goes, "No, I'm serious." I thought like they left like one of those big chucks, out on a runway. And
yeah.
No, but so when he was taxiing, and Brian, I want to hear Brian's, but he clipped the hangar with the wing, and you could see the hangar like the aluminum siding was kind of dinked in.
Oh,
and we're still rolling. I look at the girl. Goes, "Is he gonna stop?" She goes, "Yeah, eventually." She goes, "Once we're in the air, he's great. He's not so great on the ground." So we finally roll to a stop. Now guys are getting up and going off the plane, right? They're coming in with parts of the wing laughing, like the one of the lamps broken and all this stuff. So we had to sit on a tarmac, like it was now February, it's freezing, for like there was another charter company that they would use once in a while if the Knicks were using the plane. And they had just dropped off the Wild in Montreal, so they had a refuel coming. Anyhow, we sat there for quite a while. We had a hand switch transfer from the belly of our plane to the other one. Everybody, Sam's out, Sam Rowe, the TV guys, everybody. And we landed in New York, and Dale Purinton goes, this brings our friendship to another level. I go, what? He goes, we're plane crash survivors. I said, you're a sick person.
He's a sick puppy.
He's a great guy, though.
It's crazy just listening to these fellows talk about it. We have a superintendent from Montreal and Western Canadians despise him. Oh yeah. Yeah. I kind of forget about that. How much the Quebec is like, yeah. And if you don't speak French and you're a Canadian, you go into Quebec, the province of Quebec, particularly Montreal, they don't want anything to do with you.
Right.
If you're a tourist coming from US or someplace else and don't speak French, that's fine. Yeah. They're okay. But it's yeah.
What do you think? Do you think Quebec will ever get another franchise? I mean, what a great rivalry they had with the Canadians, and
it's corporate spending. There's no corporations in Quebec.
No money, right?
Yeah. That's the issue. As far as the fans go, it'll be no problem. But so much of the revenues now, like they've got the business model down.
Yeah.
Where I would say the next place is going to be Houston, or maybe back to Atlanta. They're saying if they expand some more. But
how many times are they going to go back to Atlanta
until they get it right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I don't think, I know Atlanta's not a great sports city. It seems like, and plus they've had it's different. It's a different city. So last time around, they had the arena downtown, but a lot of people that they would work in the city and then they'd leave to go. Right. So
it's a commuter city.
Yeah. But you look at New York, I guess New York's a little bit different in that there's so many people work in the city.
It's the Garden. It's the Rangers. The Rangers are the Yankees of hockey,
Yeah. I remember when the NHL joined the WHA teams, there was some opposition about including Quebec. Yes.
Probably because of that. Money.
Yeah. Same thing with like Hartford. Hartford was a great city. But you just know back when they had the insurance companies, it was one thing, but
right.
That's all I did. Yeah. Here's Mr. Duffy right there. Mr. Duffy. Wingtip contacts are inexpensive. Yeah. Several crews have reported that they didn't feel airport over congestion. Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, Brian, there was a collision up in was it Alaska, I guess, right? On the tarmac just last week.
Yeah. Oh God. Well, then that's one of those cases too. And Brian, no disrespect to you, obviously, but we're putting our lives in the hands of a couple of men who
And
knows
women.
and women who knows what's going on in their lives, right? I mean, it's not their right.
Yeah, and Carolyn, is that her name? What's the girl, the new spokesperson, the blonde girl?
Oh, Kristen
Carolyn something.
Yeah. Oh, she's good.
But she made a good point. She goes, when you get on a plane, you're not worried about what color the pilot is or male.
Oh.
They just want to make sure they get you there safely.
Yeah, totally. Isn't that true?
And that's the problem that they've run into with the DEI. So.
Yeah, the more and more we get away from that, the more you think like, what the heck were we like?
Look, there's certain businesses and corporations. So I understand it. You want to give people opportunities.
Yeah.
But there's other things like surgeons per se and
firefighters, police officers.
Yeah, you want to make sure they can save your life or prevent you from getting
it. It doesn't mean a gay person can't do the job, but
it's just it has to be the qualified person. Yeah.
Tom, that guy is not like Americans either. When he first came, he called us lazy and spoiled. Needless to say, we played down. Yeah. The Quebec, it became kind of the joke where the French players, we kind of laughed at them. They weren't like a guy like Pierre Larouche, who's a fantastic guy, but because he was French, we kind of would joke around. Oh, you think you're better than everybody else? Kind of became right. Kind of, you're around those guys. So let me see. Japan Airlines samurai attack on a Delta.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Oh,
when they clipped wings or whatever it was on a tarmac, they were still on the ground. I believe, right, Brian? They were still on the ground.
Was he joking though, like a samurai attack?
Well, I mean, he's just.
Oh, I thought there was like
Brian will remember this. There was a really, really horrific in Tenerife, which I think is South Africa or close to South Africa, where on the tarmac, one plane was going this way, one plane was going this way, and killed, I forget how many people. It was, KLM was one of the airliners, I think it was, but it was bad. Real bad.
Well, the names of those pilots, the Japanese, kind of like Fly Too Low.
Fly Too Low, yeah. Something wrong.
Something wrong. Oh,
that was bad. I mean, that guy, that newscaster just read right through it.
Classic.
Pick up on it at all.
Oh God, that was classic. It was good. Pan Am and KLM on a runway.
Yeah. So that was...
there's one of those things broadcast from a Senate hearing or something like that, and the guy was asking, okay, he was doing kind of a roll call, and somebody set him up with all these names.
Yeah,
and it was hilarious. Oh,
I think I saw that.
And because when the guy doesn't get what's going on, and he continues on, like, and everybody starts giggling around him, it's I love.
Well, speaking of which, let's talk about big balls, right?
Oh yeah, Big Ball's working.
Everybody's all the media, and they're all losing their crap over him. Big Ball.
He should patent that name.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's classic.
I mean,
so everybody doesn't know. I'm sure everybody does. Elon Musk is doing his thing, and he's got these 6 young kids that are just brilliant or something, right?
Brilliant, yeah.
Right. And the one guy calls himself online. He calls himself Big Balls.
Big Balls.
He's about like 19 years old. Of course,
19-year-old kid. Yeah.
That was funny.
But it's okay that we had Carlos Danger, which was Mitt Romney's code name. Or no, I'm sorry. Carlos Danger was I think Anthony Weiner.
Weiner, yeah.
But Mitt Romney had a name like that too. I forget what it was.
Yeah.
It was something.
Weiner trying to get back in politics. Nipple Boy is trying to get back. Cuomo's
well, they say he'd win right now.
That's a sad
mayor
right there.
But that's New York. I mean, New York is.
They say of all the people that are available to vote in New York City, only like 20% actually vote. It's a really low number. Yeah.
And he would win right now.
God. And I guess because what's his name, Adams is going through all his legal problems. So
yeah, it's funny how that works.
And plus, he's kind of he's smart. He's kind of buddying up to Trump too, which is
well, he's looking for a pardon.
Yeah. But really, what did he do? Like he took.
Well, so there's a set of corruption because everybody, his NYPD guy had to pull out because they were strong arming people for money. It was pretty bad stuff.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying he's responsible for that, but it seemed that his whole and then he took some upgrades. I mean, but my question, I think, why isn't somebody saying, why are you going to Turkey?
I know.
You're the mayor of New York City.
I know.
Why is Karen Bass going to Ghana? I mean, we don't elect those people to be ambassadors. We like them to be the mayor.
I know. Well,
You know,
and I like that, and I like what Trump is doing, and Elon Musk is doing, finding out all this spending, everything. But there's the one issue that to me still remains: this insider trading that they're allowed to do.
Yeah.
So I looked it up. They've got this thing called a Stock Act that I guess was put in place in 2012, and they're supposed. I think the bare minimum they've got to report when they make a stock, but the fines for it, like bare, and there's nobody really monitoring. Yeah. So they get away with it. See, to me, that's kind of the root of all, because they're making decisions on us based on how much they can gain financially, right? Like what tips are they getting? What investments do they need to be? So,
well, my this is just my personal view, but to save what's left of our government, because it's really not in good shape. Term limits are needed.
Yeah.
You know, and the argument always was, well, what if a good guy, really a good legislator, has to move on only because their term is up? I said, well, they can run again in 4 years.
Yeah,
that's all. And we, so that's one. The other one is that insider trading crap. I mean, these people are like, I'm not going to pick on them, but Schumer and Pelosi, they've never worked in public sector. They're multi-millionaires. How does that happen?
Yeah.
And then the third thing is, term limits, insider trading. I forgot the last one, but anyhow, those two would be a good start.
Yeah. Here's one of our all-time favorites. Where my chicken?
Yeah.
Can Chicago handle? Yes, Chicago could handle a second team. There's no question. In New York, basically, New York has 3 teams. So it's they're big enough to do it.
Yeah. Well, in the metropolitan area, it's really 4 teams if you lump in the Devils, because it's all like right here. You know what I mean?
Well, 3. Sorry. Devils on the Rangers.
No, I mean in the metropolitan area. Yeah, that's 3. You're right.
That's one of the rare times where I've been looking at you like, okay,
what's he talking about?
What is he talking about? Well, I have done that, but there was always a method to your madness before. Like this is the rare
this is just plain stupidity.
Yeah, no, not stupidity. What's your thoughts on the anthem disrespect? Oh, that's the thing. Like when they start singing the national anthem at the Super Bowl, I would prefer you just get like a police officer or a member of the military to stand up and sing the song.
Or a high school kid or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like in all the stuff that's going on, get some kid from California that's homeless, that's burned out of their home, who's a fantastic singer, who's going to get up and sing. Right. Like instead of these, like they had the trombone and everything there. Like, oh God.
It's entertainment.
What's up?
I guess it's all part of the entertainment.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I don't think so. When we have Hawks and Bulls. Yeah. But be cool thought. Let me see what we got going on. I don't think so. So Susan Brooks, hold on. Everything when Susan Brooks comes into the show here, New York has only one. Yeah. She is loyal.
That's all right. That's why, she's a fan.
What's the same thing? I guess we really only have one NFL team. The other 2 are in New Jersey. So really just the Buffalo Bills. Yeah. Yes.
Well, speaking of New York, are we supposed to be upset that Aaron Rodgers won't be back?
I know. Yeah, I admire the guy, Aaron Glenn, the coach, because he said, this is we got to start over, right? Oh, they made him fly in to tell him that they don't.
Yeah, I think there might have been a message there to him.
Yeah, screw you. Yeah, we're doing it our way. It's a message to everybody else, right? To say, listen, this is where we're doing it. Yeah. Okay. One of the classics. So Bill Belichick and his girlfriend. Yeah. So he puts on all 8 of his Super Bowl rings to see when he was getting interviewed.
No.
Oh God. And she apparently had a shirt on from Atlanta. Remember Atlanta was up.
Yeah, we were talking about this last night.
Where they said the Super Bowl champs,
because they didn't hire him. Yeah.
Oh, that's like classic stuff.
Classic. I love the commercial with Nick Saban. Check-ins at 3. That was 2:55. I know.
I know. He's good.
Yeah.
We talked about that before. I don't think it's much of a departure from the way he really is. So it's
3 o'clock for guys like him is 2:45. It's the latest.
Right. The only commercial I thought was even halfway funny was the one not Matt Damon, Bill Belichick was in it with his girlfriend with the Dunkin' Donuts commercial.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Affleck. Yeah. Where Affleck's younger brother goes, we should have spent the end of money and get extra money and got Matt Damon.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
that was at least halfway funny. The rest of it was like, God,
I give Belichick credit, man. He's living life on his terms. He doesn't care what anybody thinks.
I'm sure he's bitter he didn't get to coach in the NFL, but he said, all right, fine. I'll walk around with my hot young 24-year-old girlfriend.
Yeah.
I'll get $10 million a year to coach college football.
And what are you guys doing? What are you doing?
Yeah. I'm on all kinds of commercials all over the place.
Yeah.
I've got more rings than God.
Yeah.
God, yeah. How about go ahead.
Tom Brady, what do you think about him?
Yeah, you don't like him, right? Like you don't like
Well, it's not that I don't like him.
You don't think he's doing a good job?
I think he's doing a good job. It's just you learn a lot about the game for sure.
Yeah.
Like we're just talking about this, that, and the other.
Right.
I just don't think he has that persona. You know what I mean?
That's
like Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah.
All right. There's a person. He's a good old Southern boy. You know, like you kind of feel like you're in his living room with him.
Like I think Troy Aikman is really good the way he speaks.
Troy's very good.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, to your point, I think Tom Brady, what he lacks, he doesn't have that presence. Like Aikman, he speaks like with much more authority, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised they gave him the gig because he's only this is only his first year, right?
Who's that? Brady?
Yeah.
Well,
year?
It's his first year doing it, yeah. But it was Fox's turn. He's the number one guy on Fox.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah. No, I agree.
At least we don't have to. It could have been worse. Could have been Pierre McGuire.
People just hate Pierre McGuire, don't they? I guess here's my take on it. Like, I think that's what makes him good is that he is so outspoken. People hate him, and everybody wants to listen to what he's going to say because they hate what he's saying.
But I think I don't need to know what T-ball team.
Yeah.
The guy, it gets a little silly, and I also think.
Yeah. I love Kevin Weeks. I think he does a tremendous job, but he's really good too. I spoke to management there the other day, or like certain guys, like he drops that in all the time.
Yeah,
but he's excellent. I'm not. That's the only. He's funny, creative.
I guess maybe it just lends a little authority to what he's saying. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know, and again, I don't want to beat up on Pierre, but I think Verbeek went into the GM and said, "If you don't fire this guy, I'm going to kill him."
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. He didn't do real well up there. Yeah.
What was I just thinking about? There's something. Our Rangers. So have we spoke to since they made the JT Miller trade?
No. I don't know, but I think it's been listen, there was sometimes if I'm going to, for coaching, I'll see a clip and I record it and keep it. Because there was I forget who they're playing, but the first goal gets thrown in and Miller beats Boston. Beats two Boston guys to the puck, doesn't touch the puck, but makes a hit.
Yes.
It gets freed up, it goes to somebody, and then it gets up in there and stick it's in the net.
Yeah.
So that's a great teaching thing to show kids. Listen, it's not always what you do with the puck.
Yeah.
Right? That play was directly impacted by Miller's hustle.
Yeah. That doesn't he gets no assists, doesn't touch the puck, but it wouldn't happen unless he did.
Without that.
Yeah.
And I noticed,
hold on. This William Haynes is an intelligent man. I mean, we don't give him enough credit.
Yeah.
We're trying to be serious. What are you laughing about, pal?
And I thought Keandre Miller has been skating much better. He seems to be a little bit more confident.
He's been more assertive,
Yeah. I saw him get caught a little deep. And, what do we tell kids? Well, if you're caught deep, if you're a D-man, go right down the dots. Get right back down the dots. And it's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
And he made it back to break up a play. And Mika threw a hit. I was like,
he accidentally ran into somebody.
Yes,
Maybe he thinks he's playing women's hockey or something.
Yeah.
Tom, Herb Brooks was a good and strange fellow. I guess we are strange to point. Oh, yeah. And that's a good point. Like what one person, and this is, I think, in general for life. I mean, I'm on my soapbox here a little bit. What one person may call strange may be just unique to somebody else. Yeah. Like I think it's thing. Don't be afraid because somebody else may think that you're strange because you want to do it your way, right? Whatever that is.
No, there's a lot to that. Well, you played for Freddie. I mean, there are a number.
Oh yeah. Well, Herb was definitely that way. I mean, he was like he would do some stuff. I told you he would do some stuff like he shot the puck at my head one day in practice. But I was used to him being around him all the time. He would have hit me right in the face, but I put my glove on. It wouldn't go right to my face. But yeah, that's the way he was. I have watched him on a couple of games. Like he's directing. He's doing this stuff, and I can't even remember him doing this. I guess I wasn't paying attention. He's going like this, and I'm watching it on games now. And I'm going, what? Oh, no.
But some of the stories about Freddie, and again, you played for him, so you would know. But when he if he thought the bench wasn't focused, he'd say, "Laylaw, you're up," and they'd be like, "We traded him 3 weeks ago."
Yeah.
But it got them engaged.
Yeah. And even with a young player like with me, he would come down to the end of the bench, and he did this a couple times. Freddie did, and he put his hand on my back.
Yeah,
he'd just stand there with his hand on my back, and I'm thinking, oh, like what is going on? Now, reading his book, he thought he was sending energy to the player by doing that.
Yeah, he was metaphysical.
Yeah, he was really.
He really was. Yeah. I read when he was with the Flyers, he used to leave notes in a locker, like Beatles sayings and stuff like that.
Yeah. Keep guys on their toes. I guess Al Arbor was like that too. He would always do stuff to really just play mind.
Yeah, I hear a lot of good stories about Al.
Yep, definitely. Thankfully, TNT has Stanley Cup this year. Yeah,
ESPN's pretty tough.
Yeah. Okay. Connor Bedard became a big subject, I guess, because TNT was covering the game, and Biz Nasty and everybody, and Mark Messier, PK Subban, all got on him pretty bad about his bad play. And then they're looking at his stats and saying, I think it was one of those things, I think, where he's clear, he's a young player who needs to learn a lot of things. And Chicago was playing terrible. So for a short period of time there, it became the thing to do with those broadcasters to kind of pick on his game.
Sure.
I don't think they were wrong in what they were saying. Maybe I think, to me, if they were wanting to add something to it while they were talking, to say, listen, let's remember, this is a 19-year-old young man, or is he 20? Yeah.
But I did read an interesting stat this morning. He reached 100 points at pretty much the same amount of games as a couple other high-level, Sidney Crosby, and a couple players. So, and he's a helicopter. He's a center without wings.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and he does make mistakes. But I went back and I've used this example. What's the guy in Colorado? I keep forgetting his name. Nathan McKinnon.
Oh, what a player!
But if you go back and you look at his statistics, you're right. First 3 or 4 years of his career, we did a podcast with Dave McNabb, who we've lost, unfortunately. But he was doing the color, and I asked him about him. Like, I thought, wow, he's great, but I never really watched that many games. And he was like, Tom, we're not really sure if he could play or not. Basically, they were doubting whether he could play. Now,
what about Jack Eichel too? Right? I mean, he really set the world on fire in Buffalo.
Other than really Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews, not many 18-year-olds come in and really make. Yeah. Do you remember? Like, I remember when I was 18, I didn't know how to wash my clothes even or something. I
don't even know how to wash my whatever.
Yeah, I know. My wiggers are so big. It would take a long time for you to.
Gotta go through the car wash.
Exactly. He's standing there with the big sprayer, like the hand wash and everything. Oh God. I don't know. Are those around still? Those hand car washes where you go in and wash it yourself?
Sure. Yeah. There's one right around the corner here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I like going
bigger in where it's warmer.
That's true.
California, Florida. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. That was a big thing for me. I didn't get my car washed because growing up on the farm, I can't get somebody else to wash my car. I have to wash it myself.
Exactly.
Now it's like, let me see. Miller has been better.
Yeah. No, he has been.
Yeah. Bob Morgan.
And apparently they're both Michigan kids. They knew each other kind of growing up a bit.
Oh, okay. Now, I got to take issue here a little bit. And I know times have changed, but we have the Kreider and Zibanejad hug, like spotlight. So after the game, they'll actually have a spotlight on them hugging, right? Now we have the Trocheck and Miller love affair that goes way back to when they were little kids. And now they cook together. They just show pictures. Okay. And I know times have changed.
Yeah.
But
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. We need to really lighten up in that whole bro thing.
Yeah. I mean, a few ways to look at it is like, you're in the NHL now. You're a professional hockey player. This is your job.
Right.
So if you score a goal, have a nice little celebration, get to the bench, and go back to work.
I know. It's like, and then you have teammates. Like, you're not just teammates with one guy. You're teammates with
that's a huge part of it.
Right.
And that's a great way to start clicks in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be saying, like, if Zibanejad and Kreider stayed out on the ice and did their little hug, and if I was in the locker room, I'd get like a flashlight or something like that, and I'd start pointing at other guys and go over and start hugging.
Get the laser pen.
Yeah, go over and hug the other guys.
You start working harder.
That would be classic. Oh, get a big flashlight and point it at two guys. So wait for Zibanejad and Kreider to come in. Point it at two guys over in the corner, and they get them to, like, everybody get in on it. I start hugging once I put the flashlight on.
Start putting circles on it.
Oh, that would be funny. Man.
So Matt Barnaby had if you remember, he and what was the kid's name? Michael Grosek.
Yeah, yeah.
When they both played for Buffalo, they actually got into a fight on the bench between each other in a game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So now Rangers get Barnaby at the deadline, and Grossi's up and down all year between Hartford and up top. They call him up. It's a Saturday game. It's on ABC because Eric will play in Philly, and Grossi goes out there. He's just an animal. Gets a goal and a helper. We get back in the room, and the boys are all like, "Yeah, way to go, Grossi." He goes, "That's right, man. I'm half man. I'm half monster." Right? He goes, "Oh, I'm a manster." Right? Barnaby sitting right next to him goes, "I have no idea what you're talking about, but just keep doing what you're doing out there."
Oh, God.
He was a trip. That kid came into camp, the 195-pound bench press. After 33 reps, I go, "Michael, you can stop now."
Oh, really? He's beast. Oh, nice.
You took some vitamins over the summer.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Oh man, me talking about the locker room and old stuff.
Oh yeah, that's what it's all. That's the only thing I miss about hockey.
I wouldn't let anything slide too. Like if somebody, I was on a podcast one time with Jace Patrick, who I love, fantastic guy, and we were talking about Winnipeg because he's from Winnipeg. Larry Melnick is from Winnipeg, and he says, "Yeah, I'm. How do you say it? Like I'm from the fifth quarter. I grew up in the fifth quarter of Winnipeg," and I'm going, "James, I got news. Where are we from, James?" And he says to me, "Just, you know what? You haven't changed a bit. You will not let anything go." And, and it started to make me think that,
that's good. God. I like it.
Oh, like the two guys, like Trocheck and Miller, cooking together.
Yeah, no, that's a little bit.
Oh God! Like if we had a team meal, like we always. So everybody don't know the day of the game, we wake up, have pregame skate, then we come back to the hotel and have a pregame meal at the hotel. So everybody's there. They put a big ballroom together, and there's all the whatever food you want. So if we did that, I would get somebody else to come up front with me and start cooking together. Like,
would you? What the Sterno stove?
Yeah, like maybe get like Trocheck's jersey and Miller's jersey, and like have us cooking together and hugging or whatever. Oh,
God. I think the thing is, Tom, it's a different audience now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's just a whole different, like little things like when they score a goal and they all come by and they high five everybody, and like that used to be something we did in high school. We wouldn't even do that in the NHL.
Yeah, and if you did it in the NHL, you got to visit Next Shift by Dave Brown.
Yeah, oh, totally. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or all the celebrations and everything. Yeah. Oh God, yeah. That was a funny. I know you remember this. Maybe I told the story. Sean Avery, I'll never forget. He was with the Rangers. You may have been there, and there was a Russian kid, young kid, scored a goal at the Garden. I'll never forget they were playing Tampa because LeCavier came after him. So he goes like he's skating away from the net, grabs a stick like he's shooting at the goaltender. Well, LeCavier comes after him. Now you can even see with LeCavier, like he knew he had to do it, but he knew this kid just has no clue because the kid's looking at him like, "Why are you mad at me?" And because you don't show up the other goaltender,
right?
And so I'll never forget because I guess Avery must have got thrown out earlier, so he's in the locker room now. The camera follows the Russian kid in, and he's going to Avery's going, "What did I do? What did I do?" Yeah. Avery's dying laughing because he could, he's the master of doing that stuff too.
Yeah.
So.
Well, remember how Ty Domi used to ride his stick?
Yes. Oh yeah. That came from who? Who started that though?
I don't know.
Dave Tiger Williams.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I'm sure somebody else did it before him, but
and then I like the way he used to do the belt.
Oh yeah,
Domi, the heavyweight title belt.
Yeah. He backed it up too. That's the thing. If you're gonna,
I was watching some of his fights. He's stronger than a bull.
Oh yeah.
He was always so much shorter and smaller.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, was he 5'9", maybe?
Oh yeah, and his head was like a cement block.
I stood next to him in the garden. He took the whole hallway.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. It's always funny to watch because he's a tiny little body and his head.
Pat DiPuzzo told me that he was talking to a guy that played. So Domi gets into a fight in junior. The guys just take the helmet off, put it down, and fight, right?
Yeah.
So they go to the box. Domi's helmet's still on the ice. This guy grabbed it, put it over his helmet, and was still able to spin it.
That was John. Remember John Scott with Buffalo?
Yeah.
So there's a guy that got thrown out. He got into a fight. Went over to the penalty box. His helmet was broken. So they want to give him another helmet. So he got out of the box. He'd get right into the play. So they gave him John Scott's helmet. And he put it on. It was hilarious. Exactly. He put it on the penalty box and he started spinning around. Oh, God. That stuff's funny. So that is the humor that I miss. That's people ask, what do you miss? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's the stuff. Yeah.
Oh, did
Yeah.
you ever throw punches with a teammate? No, I don't think I ever did. I had a couple of in college. I had one time, one of my best friends, we've talked about it on our podcast, Don Waddell, who's the president GM at Columbus now. So we were good friends. And I was a psycho back in college. You know, I thought it was the toughest guy. We were doing a skating drill, and I thought he wasn't going hard enough. So I turned around and threw my stick at his head, at his head, and he ducked, so I missed him.
I don't want to bring up but McPhee, when I saw him, he was still a little bitter about you knocking his tooth out in college.
Oh God. Well, that's a funny story. I'm glad we brought that up. So Mark was at the NHL offices last week, and the guys from Vegas were there. George, Kelly McCrimmon was there, and Cassidy was there. Yeah. So when I played against George in college, I think he came in. I was a senior. He came in as a freshman. This small little guy. You can't really fight in college, right? But again, I thought I was the king of the world. I was the King Kong. I was the man. And this little guy comes running around like in these chipped me, like spearing me and everything. Like, what the? And I did so. I can't remember doing it, but he claims I knocked his tooth out. And so now you fast forward. George spent a little bit of time in the minors, came up, and we're playing against. And I still don't know he's that tough. I remember because Brian McClellan was on his team as well at Bowling Green.
Yeah.
And I remember my coach saying to me, Tom, you got to be careful. This guy's pretty tough, this guy. And I thought he meant Brian McClellan because big dude. And he is pretty tough too. So George, now again, I still think in George wins the Hobey Baker as this, college player of the year. So I'm thinking he's a skilled little guy. So he comes up with the Rangers playing against the Islanders. So he squares off with Bob Nystrom. I know I've told the story. And I'm thinking I could get in there and save him. Because Nystrom's going to kill him. So I jump in and George is mad at me. Like he's yelling, what the F were you doing and all this? And I'm thinking, I saved your life for God's sakes. They get out of the penalty box and they finally go and nobody's around and they go at it. And I'm watching him go with Nystrom. And it was a draw, but it was a classic fight.
A draw's a win.
Yeah. And I'm thinking like, thank God I didn't mess with this kid when we were in college because he was tough. Yeah.
I was watching Langdon fight. I forget who it was, but man, he was a second half fighter. He'd hold on.
Oh, yeah.
That was your guy. Didn't you represent him?
Yeah. Smartest fighter I ever seen.
Yeah.
Smart. Like he would fight guys.
He knew how to tie you up. And so you couldn't really move.
Yeah. No, he was good that way. Yeah.
I don't know, dude. The guys now, they just grab and just.
Yeah, it's not. And they still get shields on and everything like that.
I don't understand the shield and the helmets and how your hands must just get.
I know, yeah. What's the Rangers living as credit interaction in some way? Yeah, and Susan, you're right. You're correct. And I'm glad you pointed that out. I'm kind of largely being a smart ass, but he does interact with everybody. I guess they have this whole, and I guess when I see that even the arena staff is catching on because now have the spotlight on them, that's just something.
Well, even in the NFL, I mean, I think it was Dick Butkus years ago just said, what is going on? Because you're like guys going up after the game and hugging each other.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Butkus, I still want to kill him.
I know. How about Tortorella? I think this is a recent story that was on Facebook where Pride Month is coming up and they're doing these things where they colored tape and everything. Right. And Tortorella saying, nope, that's not happening. We're not doing that.
Yeah. I have mixed emotions about it. I think, you want to be respect everybody.
Right.
But it's not the forum for it.
Yeah. And that's what he's saying.
Black or white tape.
Right. And that's what he's saying. Yes. Yep. Yeah. Totally. Yeah, Danny, you're right. It was Anisimov.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'll never forget because, Avery being such a smart ass too, because they had the camera on and everything, walks in and Avery's just loving it because he knows the kid has no clue what he did. Like that's something that Avery would do knowing what he was doing.
I'm sure you've seen it. He's been on with Biz, I guess, Avery.
Yeah.
He made a lot of good points, I got to say.
Oh,
he's a pretty smart hockey guy. Like
I actually think he's a very smart person in general.
Really? No, yeah, he is.
I think he's lost a lot of credibility with
some of his antics. But yeah, he's a little nutty for sure.
Right. I mean, when his mother-in-law has to have a restraining order against, so I mean, that's.
Well, I tell you, I'm sure I told this story, but we were out in the Hamptons and I ran into him, and then that same night on the local news air, he got arrested for throwing rocks at cars going by his house.
Yeah.
Who the hell does that?
I know.
Sean Avery.
Well,
And then I don't know if I tell you this story. My son Sean's running, right?
You told me this. Go ahead, though.
Yeah.
Go. Yeah.
And he had his shirt off, right? So he didn't know. I mean, Sean, my son, and he's running by, I guess, where Avery lives, and he's put a shirt on. And Sean spins around like this, and Sean could really go.
Yeah.
Then he realized who it was, and he's like, "Hey, my dad, But yeah, he's nuts.
Yeah, I've heard more. Like, there's so many other little stories. But he's a different dude. Like the whole thing with Vogue and everything. He just
and the FedEx trucks, right? The guys with the bikes.
Yeah.
Remember him? He would actually walk the street hoping to find a FedEx truck illegally parked so he could start screaming at the guy and record it.
And didn't he get it wasn't maybe you mentioned didn't he get in trouble like going down the West Side Highway, the bike path, whatever?
I would imagine. Yeah.
Some car pulled onto the bike path and he was yelling at the guy. I think he got arrested or something for that. Yeah. Let me see here. See, Nation told me if he headbutted him. Yeah, well, he did headbutt him in the fight. George, that's the kind of stuff. George was smart in fighting. Like he would do stuff like he would throw a punch and like lean forward, like, but he was headbutting, but he would make it look like he wasn't headbutting.
Well, when we teach headbutting and self-preservation skill sets, you never headbutt if you're taller than the guy, because all you're gonna do is you're gonna smash him in the face. So that's a perfect move for him.
Yeah. George is funny. My take on Pride is that as a high-paid athlete, it's all wear whatever the team. Okay, great subject. That's a great subject. So you're a high-paid athlete. The rest of the team. Now, it has happened in the past. I think there's actually a player in Philly too had some religious beliefs. I think it was a Russian player, and anti-gay or whatever it was his religion. And it wasn't that he was trying to go against everybody. His religion would just not allow him to do what they were all doing. So
I think a general approach would be, because again, this is hockey. There are other forms that we can demonstrate whatever we believe in.
Totally.
The only thing that I think hockey should recognize the military, veterans.
Yeah.
Other than that, we don't need all this other, this day, that day, the other. I want to see a hockey game. Like I get pounded over the head all day with this information. Whether it's good or bad, I want to go to the hockey game to get away from it all.
Yeah. It's the same thing like with the kneeling and everything. And I think you and I both agree. Listen, like Kaepernick, you go way back to him. Listen, he has the right to kneel during the national anthem. We have military members of the military fought and died for his right to have the freedom to do what he wants to do. Right. So that's the first thing. Now,
and I'm going to take not a different approach, but probably, I kind of give him credit because you know what? He has a belief, whether you agree with it or not.
Totally.
He stuck to his belief. He lost his job because of it and making millions of dollars. So I have to give him credit for being really convicted to his beliefs.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, he still made lots of money, supposedly, from doing what he was doing, but, from Nike and all those other places. But, I agree. Same thing like burning the flag. I think it's one of those things I think it's terrible. It's disrespectful. It's awful. Yeah. But people get the right, if they want to burn the flag.
I wouldn't do it in front of some people I know.
Well, I agree. Listen, I think it's terribly wrong. But, again, it's
it's a freedom of speech. Yeah.
Like the female, we talked about this, the female priest that did the thing in front of Trump.
Oh, she's in big trouble now.
Yeah, but again, she's got the right.
Hear
what?
So her name got pulled up out of this USAID stuff.
Right. Oh.
Yeah. So.
Right.
She's not what she represents entirely.
Right.
Which doesn't surprise
as far as the speech itself, she has the right to say what she wants to say.
Yeah, that was Trump's forward team that screwed up by having her. They should have vetted her.
Yeah. Totally. And I actually give her credit to be in front of Trump and saying that stuff. No.
Again, she's convicted. She believes in what she believes, I guess. I hope.
Yeah. Whatever happened with your book? Did you sell the rest? Susan, I really want to. I've got to go back and revisit it. One thing for me is I've learned so much. I've learned to learn more, and I'm constantly learning new things. So some of the stuff I write in the book, I maybe have different views on that now. So I've got to revisit the book. Like for me, I've really gotten in lately into talking about this quantum physics and quantum mechanics and quantum computing and all that in the universe and parallel universes and everything. And I think it's really interesting stuff
Well, there is more than hockey.
Unbelievably so.
Hard to believe, but yes, there is.
I know. Isn't that true? And again, everybody does. I want to be careful of this. Everybody does their own thing.
Sure.
To me, I think that's one of the biggest things to teach everybody, that don't be well-rounded. Be like I know you know this. I'm not lecturing you, But looking back on it too, I was always one of those people that, like, in college, well, I didn't go to school very much anyways, but they had me take a psychology class. I said, well, what am I ever going to know about psych? What am I ever going to use psychology or physics? Well, what it was doing was training my brain to learn new things. So it's just like I was training my body to get stronger. I was training my brain, and I didn't understand that. I do see that now. Yeah.
One thing that I've noticed over years with people that are really super successful, there's a common thread. They're very organized. They maybe don't sleep a whole bunch.
Yeah.
And they have other talents that you may not be aware of. And when you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you know that they
Well,
just
you like that, playing the piano and all that kind of stuff. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to try to kind of just do it, not do it all, but just try different stuff.
Yeah.
It's not just hockey. It's not just the piano. It's everything.
It really is, and it really does train your brain. Like, especially as we get older, I think it's even more important because all those things like the different diseases and everything, and especially if you have concussions, so you're exercising that brain and keeping it strong. Yeah,
this is a great point you bring up because we see now because the population is getting older. There's a lot of us, and Alzheimer's and dementia. And one of the things I tell people, whether if it's martial arts or playing the piano, learn skills that require both sides of your brain to work. So the piano, I got the melody going in my right hand, I got the bass going in the left hand, or chords. So it's two different sides of my brain working, right?
Sure.
And then when I'm doing martial arts or even boxing, you work on both sides. So my point is, your brain is the biggest muscle, not the biggest muscle, but it's the most important muscle other than, and it needs to be exercised.
Yep.
And I think what happens to most people, they work a job, they retire, and then they don't have anything to really challenge them.
Yeah. Like even like get involved in a charity, do something. Yeah. God.
There's actually, it's called Rock Steady Boxing. And it's you get certified, and they work with Parkinson's patients, and they use boxing to slow down the process of the deleterious effects of the Parkinson's. There's also a guy on the West Coast. His name's Paul McCarthy, British dude, and he's a professor of psychology at Stanford. But he does the Filipino martial arts, and he actually did some brainwave study when he's performing his Filipino martial arts. And what they're finding out, it's a really great way to prevent the onset of Alzheimer's or dementia.
I agree, totally. Yeah. Danny Erickson, let me see here. He brings up a great subject. Autism Awareness Night would resonate with me because it's
that too. Things of that nature. Yeah. Where it's not a political thing. It's either, to your point, Danny, whether it's juvenile diabetes, autism, respecting the military, respecting first responders. About respecting teachers that do a great job with the kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something like that. That's all.
All right. Okay. So let's get back. So let's go on a campaign here. So now we got 364 days until the next Super Bowl, right?
Oh, yeah.
So now we're going to go on a campaign to change halftime. Like, okay, so what should halftime become? Instead of having like some artist like what was on yesterday, that now again, maybe a small portion of the society really knows him and likes his music and everything. It was great. They loved it. But that to me, that would be a small portion. So how can we make it so that it's turned into a national holiday, right?
Right.
So how can we make it like our halftime show is something that is more beneficial to our society?
I don't think there's any way you cut it's gonna be really beneficial. I just guess I struggle with, is it because I'm old and I don't appreciate this type of entertainment? Mm-hmm. Maybe I'd rather see somebody else out there, but that's being kind of selfish, and you're just replacing one with the other. I don't think it's going to change. I don't think you could do anything different. You could maybe have a skills competition with little kids, but everybody's going to turn it off and go get food.
Yeah. How about, did you see the thing they did with Jimmy Johnson, the AI thing?
No.
It's pretty cool. So, I don't think they said it, but it may look like he was going to retire. Mm-hmm. So they did an AI thing that was very realistic about him going back to his college days as a player and going through his entire life. The people, like he played college with Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys, then coach. So it was pretty cool and worked its way up to the point where, so he walked out onto the field as he is today. Mm-hmm. And then they did this AI presentation of him going through his life. And then ultimately, one of the things they handed the ball to him now. So it was very cool. It was very, obviously with the AI, the way it is now, it was very cool the way they did it. It was very emotional. I thought he was crying. I thought it was pretty cool.
How about this? This would make sense to me. How about the Hall of Fame inductees?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Go in the halftime. I don't know if there's enough time. I'm not familiar with how many players get in each year, but maybe that's when you do it. Instead of doing Canton, Ohio, that 4 people see, this the whole world sees. The Hall of Fame inductees.
So it's like somehow put on like a presentation or something.
That's
like
what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, like to show like a very emotional, inspirational presentation to make a difference in people's lives, right?
Yeah, like either the Hall of Fame or people that are, first responders or military, or a football player who is doing a lot for the community, those kinds of things.
Yeah, you know what? So like they could put on like use the big screen there, put on a big video of of all the players, like they have that Man of the Year, the Walter Payton Man of the Year.
Right.
So they're going into hospitals and helping kids. Like that'd be the stuff that's really emotional. Everybody would kind of be like focused on it. Yeah. Like, like it making a difference in the world instead of doing all this other nonsense. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess what we both can agree with entertainment when it's music, not everybody's going to be happy.
Yeah.
Because not everybody has the same taste.
Yeah. So do something that like is really, it's very inspirational like that. Yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be really, to me, then everybody would be kind of riveted to that story. Like they have a whole series of stories, like what do you get, 10 minutes or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. So maybe it's 5 different 2-minute segments.
What is it? A half hour in between halves? I don't even know.
I think it's normally, I think it's 18 minutes during the regular season, but
is that what it is?
Yeah. Playoffs.
So it doesn't give you a lot of time to do a lot, but yeah, I mean, like I said, maybe Hall of Fame inductees or some kind of keep it football centric because it is a football game.
Yeah. Yeah. John, he did look small with the other broadcasters. That's right.
Yeah.
Halftime's all, but yeah, well, this is true. But I mean, I guess it's more, but it's about money in terms of advertising, right? Mm-hmm. Because now you're drawing eyeballs. So they're saying that a guy like Kendrick Lamar is going to draw eyeballs, and then you're selling advertising. I guess I guess they advertise it. Maybe some of the people who came to watch him sing who weren't even watching the football game.
There's a small percentage.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. But I just think, God, that'd be so cool to have something like a presentation that really makes a difference in people's lives. Man, that'd be cool. Yeah. Very cool. What do we got here? They did an AI with Laidlaw. They showed him walking away after he was sent home. That would be funny. Seriously, wouldn't that be funny about having a president of all our lives, like having somebody go, here's Mark Putnam's life, his journey through life, and all the things he did,
all his mistakes,
and AI, like an actual, what you would look like at that time and everything like that.
That'd be pretty cool.
Oh, that would be scary.
That's what they should present you every year for your birthday.
Yeah,
like an AI. Run through all of
and we're getting to that. We could probably do it now. Really, they probably have the technology to do it now.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, God, that's funny. Some of the stupid things you did.
Yeah.
Oh God.
No one wants to see the good you do. They just want to laugh at us. So
God,
everything we messed up.
It probably is like even funnier to us. Like after looking at ourselves doing the things that we did back then. Oh God. Funny stuff. All right. So the Four Nations tournament starts tomorrow.
Yeah.
Does anybody care?
No. Where's it being broadcast?
Montreal and Boston. I believe.
No. Is it ESPN? ABC?
I believe ESPN's got it. I think.
Okay, it's not on the Outdoor Life channel or.
No. It's either ESPN or TNT.
Okay.
Or ABC. So it's Montreal and Boston, supposedly the two cities.
I mean, it'll be interesting, but.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like because if you're a player playing in the tournament, you're playing against a lot of your teammates.
Right.
So like the high power teams like Florida, I think it's 7 guys on the team. So like Keith Tkachuk, Tkachuk isn't going to go out there and run his own teammates.
Unless it's his brother.
Yeah, good point. Well,
but how did this even get through with the PA and everything? I don't understand.
Well, apparently the players really want this.
Really?
Yeah, they want to be at the Olympics and everything.
Yeah.
I don't think it does anything to promote the game like this. Yeah, because anybody that's a hockey fan is a hockey fan already. I don't think some new person is going to come along and say, I want to watch the NHL now because of the Four Nations tournament or the Olympics.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those things. You're looking at a team and you're not really even sure, oh, that's that guy. You know what I mean? It's like,
no. You know, it's going to be a big thing in Canada. I guess, you know, in other countries. So, and again, it's 4 nations, obviously. So it's Canada, Sweden, Finland, and US.
Yeah.
Easy to not have the Russians because of all the stuff.
Right.
So you wonder when they made it into a 4 nations tournament, it kind of gets them off the hook now. We don't have to invite Russia, right?
Yes. We can only have 4.
Right. Yep.
Sweden and Finland, if anything, that's always a bloodbath.
They're going to, but you know, how much are they? This is true in the middle of the season. How much is it going to be a bloodbath?
It isn't.
Right.
I take that back.
And I can't even imagine, like, if I'm not on one of the teams, so now I've got 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean,
I don't know if I'd want that in the middle of the season. Like, I want to play. I don't want to sit around.
Right now, it's a bad time for the Rangers because they're starting to play better.
Yeah. Well, that's true. You think of the teams. Yeah. Could help some teams that got injuries, whatever. But Shesterkin being hurt for a week to 2 weeks, that helps them.
Do they? What is it, upper body, lower body?
Middle body.
Oh, you got took it in the pills. Okay.
It's a new category. I think it was upper body. I think actually
out of body.
Yeah. You were talking about Bedard minus 66.
What? Really?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing too. You were back with Connor McDavid when he first went to Edmonton. So they didn't have veteran guys around, like character guys around. Right. Their theory was, let's develop these young kids. Well, and that makes sense. But you've got a young player, like these are exceptional young players. Like Bedard, I don't know if he's going to be in McDavid's category, but who is? So just recently they traded that Taylor Hall away. Yeah. So it's like, okay, I don't. Apparently he's a pretty good team guy. Mm-hmm. And I guess there's some financial reasons why you do it too. But to me, I would rather keep – you're not going to win the Stanley Cup right now if you're Chicago. I'd rather keep some character guys around Bedard, show them how to win, show them all the – because the things that they were pointing out on, like Biz was showing and Messier was showing, they're all accurate. He needs to correct those things. And plus they've got this rookie coach in there. And no disrespect to him, but he's just trying to hang on. He's not going to – he's thinking – I want to buddy up to this kid. I don't want to be a hard ass.
Can't coach him.
Yeah.
And that's one thing Dave Tippett said. You got to coach your best players.
Totally.
You can't let them just stand.
Yeah.
They need to be coached. They want to be coached.
Well, and that's your point. They may not know it at the time, but down the road, they're going to thank that coach for being hard on them, being, disciplining them. Yeah. Because the stuff Bedard was doing wrong was just correct. It was all correctable stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, it gets back to what's it like to be a coach now?
Well, that's a good point. Because, and again, you're more being a manager because you get like the defensive coach, the offensive coach, the skills coach, goalie coach. Yeah, you're more typically like a baseball manager now. You're not.
Right. Yeah, you're a skipper.
And I don't know if we touched on this, and I feel bad because this is a player from my era, but Phil Housley. The hairdo, we gotta like. Is there not someone around that loves him? I mean,
yeah, someone's got to say something.
Yeah, I mean, because you think.
Oh, you say your house has no mirrors, huh?
They turn the lights off in the bathroom. It was the old saying, "You got dressed in the dark."
Oh man.
Well, he's got. So people that don't know, he's kind of got this thing coming down where it's like, obviously it's thin. So instead of a Donald Trump swoop, he kind of like a.
I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, like it's a
parting of the Red Sea.
Oh, and you feel bad because it's one of those things you're looking at going, Phil, just like, like, what does his wife say about that? And maybe she likes it.
Maybe she that's her thing.
Yeah. Maybe everybody likes something different.
She likes the howdy doody look.
and you know what? He was a fantastic player. He may be a great coach. I'm just commenting on his bangs.
I don't know about his coaching, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, that's
again.
I know.
Again.
It's so hard. Like when I see somebody say, well, he's a great coach. Like, what's his name that coaches New Jersey down now that was in Toronto?
Sheldon Keefe.
Yeah. People say, oh, he's a great coach. Based on what? He may be a great coach, but why are you saying it? Like, Toronto didn't get past the second round. They had all the skilled players. All right, so.
Well, it goes back to you can only coach the guys that want to be coached.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And especially with the contracts nowadays, you get some kids making $10 million a year, and you're making $2 million as a coach, and they're not trading that kid that's making $10 million a year. You're getting fired before
you're going.
Yeah.
And I think now it's just so many factors with social media and everything else. They all get their own Instagram account, and they're checking out after the game to see what people are saying. And it's a really young league.
Yeah, I know
it's a kids league now.
Yeah.
So, and these kids, every single one of them have been the best player in probably 50-mile radius where they grew up. Yeah. So they can do no wrong.
I know. And it's just like the whole, like they play rock, scissors, papers during the warm-ups and with the other team, the stuff they're doing. And to them, there's nothing wrong with that either. Like it's to come up and say to them, like, what the heck are you doing? They'd be looking at you like, what are you talking about? Like,
so get out of here, Grandpa.
Yeah. To their credit, you go, they just don't know any different. That's just
the way they came up.
Yeah. It's the same thing. And we've talked about it so many times, but it just drives me nuts. When a guy puts a big hit on somebody, they feel like they have to respond right away. Although Lindy Ruff, I guess, got kind of hot with his team in Buffalo. One of their star players got run, and nobody did anything about it. Now, I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't know what he said to the team, but they had a meeting about it. I'm hoping he would have said, "Okay, listen, you don't have to do it right away, but at some point, that guy has to pay a price."
Yeah. So there's. I know you're going to agree, but like when Trouba would make a clean hit, there's no reason he shouldn't have a fight.
Yeah.
But if you run somebody from behind you, you better expect something coming at you.
Totally. Yeah, but you're exactly right. But that clean hit, but again, you go to that all game long, you should be going to Trouba. We're coming for you. We're coming for you.
Boy, this guy up in Minnesota, he's.
I was watching some 10-game suspension.
Yeah, Ryan Hartman, is that his name?
Yeah.
He's pretty cheap.
Like what was and what's the point? Like he's not. It's not like there's something going on where he was trying to get.
Yeah, there was. I think it was against Tampa. Maybe guys coming up out of the zone, nowhere near the pocket. He just leveled.
And off the face-off, the one we ultimately got suspended for.
Did it twice. He sticked the guy, and then I think the last one didn't he pile drive the guy's face into the ice?
Yeah, and that's what he got the 10-game suspension for. I think, right?
I believe so. Yeah. Because he was trying to get Hamonic to go, and Hamonic's like, "Why am I going to fight you? We're 3-0."
Hamonic, the porn star with that mustache.
Yeah. Enjoy your tryout.
There was a funny video when Richards was on the Rangers, Brad Richards,
right.
And they're playing against somebody, and they've got a young kid coming up who ultimately played for a little bit, but I think he was up for his first game, and he's a tough kid. He's yapping at everybody, and Richards is going to him, enjoy your tryout, kid. Enjoy your tryout. It was
Zach Rinaldi.
Yes, and he was too. And it was funny. Like Richards was pretty good. He was giving it to him.
I mean, that's the stuff you miss too. Hearing that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. Hold on, let me see here. Yeah. When you hit Picard to Toronto, no, I was surprised by that too.
Who did they have that was a tough guy?
Will Paymont was there. So he was tough.
With Brad Smith, he was a pretty tough guy too, right?
He wasn't there at the time, but he had played there. Daryl Sittler came after me, but he wasn't considered. Although he could fight, he wasn't
big dude.
Yeah,
he's a big man.
Well, he came after me right when it happened. And I'll never forget because that was my first game at Maple Leaf Gardens growing up as a kid, watching all the games. And he's coming towards me, and he's got the F-bombs going and everything like that. And I'm seriously thinking to myself, this is unbelievable. Daryl Sittler wants to talk to me.
Kill me. I love it.
Yeah, he must have a little shot. And then I had to snap out. I had to what's going on? I was like,
that's awesome.
I'll tell you, that was funny though. I'll never forget when it's over with after. I think I was at Center Ice at Maple Leaf Gardens having a FU fight with Daryl Sittler. God. My stuff, It didn't get hot at all. The post-game comments were that he told him not to retaliate. A few days later, he changed. Oh, okay. So we're talking about Lindy Ruff, I think.
Lindy,
yeah.
He was a pretty honest player, right? I mean,
tough. Yep, played hard. It wasn't like a guy that was you'd view as like a real heavyweight. But he played hard, and obviously you play hard like that. Sometimes people are going to.
I mean, when you look back at Buffalo, it's Schoenfeld, him, Playfair.
Yep, tough teams.
Jerry Korab.
Yep, Brad May, Rob Ray, Brad May, all those guys after that.
Yeah.
No, they had some really good teams. You think back to when they had Gilbert Perreault and all those guys playing. They had really good teams.
Yeah. Donnie Luce and all those guys.
Yeah.
Well, then go ahead.
Yeah, Donnie Luce, that's a good name. Good call.
Yeah. Craig Ramsey. Ended up coaching for a while.
Yeah, Mike Ramsey, the old he was a good player from the Lady Olympic team.
All right, who's I'm sure you'll get this, but who was Izzy?
Izzy.
Yeah, that was his nickname. He's a defenseman.
Brad Isbister?
Who? No. You played against him a whole bunch of time.
Is he? I don't know.
Played for Philadelphia. Right-handed D-man.
I don't know.
Is he good enough?
Very good enough.
Yeah.
Well, I had Andy Delmore as a client.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was in Nashville. They called him Andy Elmore. No D. He didn't fight.
I like that.
Oh, that was a good one too. They also he was a great guy, but he had this he had the head like a long face. So they called him Long Face too. Was the other nickname. He was funny because he could give it back pretty good too. He was a funny guy.
That's awesome.
I know the nicknames are classic stuff too.
Oh yeah,
man. Yeah. We had Terry Carkner and our young kid coming up, and he would just lose his mind sometimes. He's a big, tough kid, and he just snapped. And we call him Psycho. We call him Norman Bates, like from the movie. Normie.
Yeah, I actually did a summer camp. He was working it with me when he was his second year.
Terry Carkner?
Yeah.
Oh, good guy. He was good.
And so you know how sometimes you're just standing there, you're talking, and a little kid takes a digger behind you and they take your feet out.
Oh yeah.
I went down. I ate crap. I came down hard on my elbow.
Right.
It felt wet. I thought it was just from the ice. Right. We're getting in the locker room. I take my jacket off. Just wearing sweats. He goes, "You might want to have that looked at."
He was a funny kid.
Yeah.
Oh God. Remember him? I think it was him and Scotty Kleinendorf. So we lost Scotty too. He died in an accident, a construction accident. And I'd gotten hit by Nystrom and knocked me out, and I had to spend the night in the hospital. So they took my Jeep from Madison Square Garden to practice the next day. So the two kids called up. They don't have a car or like that. And so I came out of the hospital, got to practice the next day, and they looked at me like, "Oh, fuck!" Like they're mad because now they couldn't drive the Jeep around anymore.
Couldn't you stay in one?
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much said that too. Oh, I'll tell you what. That's the funny thing. Like if you were soft in the locker room, and you could not survive, man.
Not good.
Oh, because there's no like, "Oh, you okay, Tom?" or anything like that. It's like, no. Yeah. Stuff.
But I was at a rookie game in New Jersey. He was playing. Remember Stephen? It was first round pick. He never really played. Stephen Rice, was that his name?
Sounds familiar. Remember that name?
Yeah. Devils had Shanahan.
Oh.
And it got ugly, but I think his first shift, Carkner hit a guy and really ran, great hit, but the guy's skate came up.
Oh.
Caught him. Yeah.
Hit Terry?
Yeah. That was it. He went in, and then because my buddy was doing a lines, a friend of mine, Chris James, and the doctor came in and said that if that was a boxing match, I would have stopped the fight. It was a pretty nasty cut.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But that turned into a brawl. Remember Paul Gerard?
Yeah.
Lake Superior State.
Yeah.
He got into it with Shanahan when the buzzer sounded after the game, and then everybody just went on. It was just
Shanahan. I watched a video the other day. They had Al Iafrate. The video was the 10 most hated players or scandals or something like that. Yeah. Well, it's not like it's a secret. So when Al Iafrate was playing in Toronto, Gary Lehman was his teammate. Mm-hmm. So I guess Gary Lehman was hurt, couldn't go on the road trip. So he stayed behind and was sleeping with Al Iafrate's wife. Oof. Well, Al Iafrate, I guess, came home from the trip early, got hurt himself on the road trip, so came home and actually caught the two of them in bed together. Now, they played together for a couple of months after that. They ultimately traded both of them, but they were actually teammates. But I was like, holy smokes.
Yeah, that's not a smart move by Lehman.
Because
Al was like a Hell's Angel.
He had that look to him.
Yeah.
Like he had probably the worst hair in the history.
Oof,
like because he was losing it and he grew it long and then he tried to swoop it over, but there was still a ball bunch.
It was a mess.
The funniest was when I hit him. It was a legendary hit. It really was that hard of a hit, but he hit the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
So he's coming down the boards and he could skate. So I kind of lifted him up and he slid along the top of the boards by the bench and hit the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
Goes down, his helmet falls off. And we joked around about it after. He said, "Tom, all I worried about was getting my helmet back on because I didn't want anybody to see my hair." So he's scrambling to find his helmet.
That reminds me of, remember at the beginning of Wide World Sports when we were kids?
Yeah.
And the guy coming down and he hit the thing, the skier.
That's right.
Yeah. It was the same time.
Oh, remember that? That was classic. They used the ski jumper, right? Yeah.
The ski jumper.
Oh, man. Oh, that's right. Because he hit right on his back on the side and everything. Oh, that's funny. What's that?
Have they changed that? I'm trying to remember. Do they? I guess it's still there, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Because then, yeah, it is. Because Pacioretty, I think, got wrecked down a few years ago when he was in Montreal.
Oh yeah. No, what they do is they make it they round it off now.
Oh, is that it?
So it's not like a T anymore like it was before, or like a Because that's right. Because Chara hit him into the boards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. It's funny. So we had Mark Howe on a podcast. Remember when he went butt first?
Oh, that's when they changed the back of the net
Oh.
because of that.
So people don't remember. So at the bottom of the net, there used to be a little metal thing. I don't know why. I guess it kind of deflected up into the net to show you it went into the net or whatever.
Yeah.
But they had it would circle around into the middle of the net where it was a point.
Yeah.
It's like, and
it was pretty long too. I mean, it came out.
I watched that. He was playing for Hartford. He slid in like butt first, and it went right into his butt. It was he told the story about it, and he had to get stitches and everything like that. They were really worried about
it. Sure.
Yeah. And you're right. They've changed that now. So it's
that's when they went just to the. I don't know what the purpose of that. It had to be something with maybe keeping the net flat.
I think it was more like because it would keep the. I don't know what because he would almost like keep the puck easier to get the puck out for some reason. I don't know what it was, but
that's how everything was back then.
Yeah. Well, that's when the nets they were not on that rubber thing. Right. They were like steel posts. Yeah. So when you slid into the net, you were sliding into a steel post. Yeah. Oh, God.
Now, what was it like in Calgary? Because didn't the boards come up like to your shoulders up?
When we first started the franchise, the Calgary Corral was a smaller rink. Like 10,000, I don't know if it was like 10,000 seats. The boards were, what's the boards now? Like 4 feet high?
Maybe, something like that.
They had to be at least 5 foot high. I'm going to say 6. It seemed like 6, but maybe it wasn't. But it was like cement too.
I heard they didn't move at all.
Oh yeah, like they used to joke around that if to get on the ice, you had to use a step ladder to get on the ice. So instead of jumping over, and they had guys like Willie Plett and Kenny Houston.
Yeah.
Oh, guys are like 6'6".
They had a big team.
Poplinski. That's funny.
Poplinski,
that's right.
Yeah.
I was a rookie that year too. I'll never forget going in there. Like that was one of those places.
That'd be a scary place to play.
Yeah, it was. There's a lot of places you think like that. You go as a rookie, you're going in, like you're going into Calgary, you're going into Boston, you're going to Philadelphia. Oh man, it's funny stuff.
Dave Brown.
Yeah. Well, my rookie year, it was like I go to Boston. It was like Wayne Cashman, Stan Jonathan, John Wensick, Terry O'Reilly. Oh God, it was like there was 10 guys that were like tough guys.
Stan Jonathan, did you mention?
Stan Jonathan is the same way as Ty Domi. You look at it, and go, if I fight this guy, so what? I can't hurt him.
What he did to Pierre Bouchard was
Bouchard was a tough guy too.
Yeah.
So it's a great video of that. They had Boston and Montreal having a big brawl.
72, I think it was.
Yep.
1972.
And Bouchard, who was a big, tough defenseman, grabbed Stan Jonathan, and they started throwing bombs. And Jonathan hit him, cut him wide open too, right? Remember, it was who's the linesman? When and he was trying to help him, and he was covered.
He got hurt.
Yeah, I don't think he ever got hurt. He was covered in Bouchard's blood.
Yeah.
Was it John D'Amico? I think it was.
John D'Amico.
Yeah.
I actually met his kid for some reason.
Oh,
I don't know why.
Yeah. I'll tell you, the linesmen were legendary back then. Like they were famous players. Yeah.
Everybody knew them.
Yeah.
Mark, who's the guy? Pavlich?
Pat DePuzza?
Pat DePuzzo, yeah. Well, he's a Jersey guy. I've known him forever. But Pavlich, wasn't there a Pavlich?
Matt Pavlich.
Matt Pavlich.
Yeah. There was a guy who I think he just passed away too, his McCourt. So his brother was a good player. Yeah. And then the brother was a linesman too. So but they were famous. Who
would know these? Well, Susan will, but Barry Shelley would know all.
That was another thing that was great when you first turned pro too, like because you're watching these guys on Hockey Night Canada, and then you're on the ice and they start, "Hey, Tommy," and stuff like that. Holy smokes, this guy, he's talking like the linesman. But the funny is, early in my rookie year, played a preseason game, and referee that had been around for a while too, and I sucked during the game. I was frustrated. I did something. He called a penalty on me, and I'm giving it to him, and he goes, "Tom, you suck out here tonight," or something like he says, just worry about your own game. Like you suck out here tonight. And I was kind of like, oh God.
Well, that's it too. Like the interaction between the lines and stuff. Yeah. I know Kerry Fraser and Theo Fleury had a running battle.
Yeah.
And we were in Boston, and they were after the first period, they're yelling at each other in the hallway. I'm like, what am I watching here?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Eh?
Oh yeah. Theo is.
Yeah, he was
Theo
nutty.
was Theo.
Yeah, he had demons inside of him. Yeah, yeah,
Much better now.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. Kerry Fraser, my funniest story. Well, there's a couple with him. We're playing a game up in Toronto, and late in the game, we're losing or whatever, and I'm frustrated. And some kid elbows me in the head, and Kerry Fraser says something to me. He says, "Don't get stupid out here." And I said, "I'm already stupid."
Can't get any dumber.
And he's dying laughing. He says, "Wait, right?" I think he said that to me. He says, "Well, don't get any more stupid than you already are." And then we were playing a game in LA, and this time I've been in the league 8 or 9 years or whatever. And it's the opening face-off. Curry's on the ice, Messier, Gretzky's on our team. It's like a Hall of Fame. Paul Coffey's there, and so Wayne wins the draw back to me. And for the puck was like a grenade. It went off. Somebody pulled the pin. It went off, and I can't find it. It's in my feet. And Curry comes flying by, grabs the puck, goes down and scores. Open.
You gotta help her.
Yeah, I gotta help her. Yeah. So we go back to center ice. Now and the coach kept me on the ice too. Like I'm wanting to hide, right? Because this is right. So Kerry Fraser's he's standing there and he's delaying the face-off just to piss me off. Like
just
he's
make
like,
it really,
and he's looking right. He's looking right at me too, and I'm yelling at him, "Drop the effing puck! Drop the puck!" And he's laughing at me. And it was, because I've been around for so long.
Yeah.
So that was funny stuff. But my stuff. All right, brother. We babbled today, didn't we? So the Super Bowl's over. Our mission is for next year. Then we've got 364 days now to change.
Gonna work on this halftime thing.
Yeah. So we're going to turn it into a very emotional, inspiring event instead of wasting everybody's time.
Yeah.
What do you have after?
Like I said, do the Hall of Fame inductees then, or something.
Yeah. Do it
I don't
like
know if you can do it in 18 minutes.
Yeah, and do like this thing where they're going out to the hospitals and showing the difference they're making in people's lives and all that kind of stuff. So, okay, that's our mission. So we'll get that done for next year's Super Bowl.
Let's start today. Let's work.
All right, brother. Have a fantastic week, everybody. We'll see you next week. See you next Monday.